do what I ask you to do, you will be a special treasure to me. You will be a set-apart people. You will be a nation of Cohen, which is more than simply priests, that you will be a people that ministers to the world. And Cohen also means teachers, that teaches the world about me. And his first commandment was, Anochi Yehovah Elohecha, I am Yehovah your Elohim. The very first thing he says. So it's very important. Now, if we continue in Isaiah 65, we see the benefits of serving Yehovah our Elohim as opposed to not. And in verse 13 of chapter 65 it says, therefore, thus says the Master Yehovah, behold, my servants shall eat, but you shall be hungry. He's talking about those who don't acknowledge him. You shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but you shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but you shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but you shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall wail for the breaking of your spirit. We have a choice. We can enjoy the good things that come from having that intimate relationship, or we can have the not so good things that come from having a halfway relationship that's not based in what he says. So we see then that there are to be consequences for bringing his name to nothing and replacing it with something else. We must know who we serve and then serve truthfully. Consider the following verses and reflect on them. This is Malachi 3:16 through 20 that says, then they that had reverence for Yehovah spoke one with another, and Yehovah hearkened, he listened, he acted, and heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that had reverenced Yehovah and that thought upon his name. He remembers, and our name is placed in the book of remembrance, first of all. Verse 17 says, and they shall be mine, says Yehovah host, in the day that I do make even my own treasure, and I will spare them as a man spares his own son that serves him. We reverence his name. We become his. We become his treasure. Then shall you again discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serves Elohim and him that serves him not. Now we say a measure of faith. There's a world out there that only knows to serve the Lord, that only knows to serve God, because they haven't come to any kind of knowledge. That's the measure of faith that they work in. And they will be judged according to that measure of faith, and there's still a reward for that measure of faith if they haven't come to a knowledge of anything else. Okay? This is not to say that, people that don't use the name are going to go straight to hell. No, there is a judgment, and he's a righteous judge, and he will judge according to that measure of faith. But it is, again, like we just read, to be able to discern between the righteousness and the wicked. He that serves Elohim and he that serves him not. And then in 19 we go on, for behold the day comes, it burns as a furnace, and all the proud and all that work wickedness shall be stubble. And the day that comes shall set them ablaze, says Yehovah of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root or branch. This is important. Stubble, you throw it in the fire, it burns up and it's gone. They won't have anything to stand on. They will have nothing that feeds them and nothing that bears fruit. So again, we go back to the concept, the idea, the consideration that we have to build an intimate relationship with our Elohim, not only knowing him by his name, but following the precepts found in his word. But verse 20 says, "But unto you that reverence my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in its wings, and you shall go forth and gambol as calves of the stall." Gambol means run about, run freely. So we also consider the coming of the gift sent for our restoration, redemption, and deliverance. It's Psalm 118, 26 through 28. It says, "Blessed be he that comes in the name of Yehovah, and we bless you out of the house of Yehovah." The Yehovah, this is an example of what we were talking about. The Yehovah is El. And has given us light in order order the festival procession with bows, even unto the horns of the altar. You are my Eli. Eli means my El, my Elohim. It's a personal, it's very personal. I'm saying now, you are my Elohim. It's different than Eloheinu, which means ours, or Elohecha, which means your. This is my. I'm saying Eli. "And I will give thanks unto you. You are my Elohe." Again, very personal, that I'm saying, you are my Eli. You are my Elohe. You are my judge, my redeemer. You're the one that can bring me rest. You're the one that can deliver me. "Oh, give thanks unto Yehovah, for he is good, for his mercy endures forever." Yeshua came in the name of Yehovah Elohim to show us how to keep the commandments, to bring us clarity as to their meaning, and then to shed his blood at the top, the vehicle of sacrifice and the covenant marker, in order to restore the covenant of Yehovah Elohim that humankind had broken, delivering us from the curse of the law of sin and death by being the final sacrifice, taking our place at the vehicle of sacrifice. All of this was done in the name of Yehovah, our mighty ruler and judge, who brings restoration, redemption, and deliverance, and rest by his word in his name. We have Yeshua, which means Yehovah is our restoration, our redemption, our deliverance. We receive Mashiach, which means the anointing of Yehovah, which dwells within us, that allows us to connect through the Ruach HaKodesh, the distinct, set-apart spirit of Elohim that comes and ministers to us through Mashiach. Any questions?
You have one.
Okay.
It says that he was jealous and had, and not questioning him by no means. But we're not to be jealous. Right?
Right.
Of things. I'm jealous because she has a bigger ring than mine. So there's a difference, right? Between covetous and jealous. Okay. Because to me it sounds the same. I'm jealous because she has a bigger ring and I
You
don't.
want things of others, but your jealousy is.
You consider that you...
So there's a difference in his jealousy and our having.
Right. Put yourself in his place, in your point of view. I have created everything. I've given you life.
Right.
I've fed you. I've nourished you. I've taken care of you. I've given oxygen. I've tilted the earth at exactly 27 degrees so that you don't die. I've given you 0.007% helium in the air so that you can breathe. I've done all this, and you want to worship
Someone else. Right, I understand.
this other deity? Yeah, I'm going to be upset. So, this is a righteous jealousy.
I mean, I was just wondering, is there really a big difference? Because what is jealousy? What does jealousy mean?
For an example, to me would be when your children get married. Up until that point, they bother you. I'm always the first one they call. I'm always the first one that knows anything that's going on in their life. Now I'm the second one. And sometimes it's like, same thing with your grandchildren. As they grew up, they were really, really close to me as they were, I took care of them a lot. Well, now they're in middle school, high school. I haven't even talked to them in a week.
What is that like? because we're still the first one.
But I mean, so that's jealousy. I sit here and say, I want this.
Grooviness is achieved.
So that's the